after the family and friends of people who lived in the neighborhood. And remember, we're talking about New York, which means people don't have a guest bedroom. Anybody here have a guest bedroom? Right, so, exactly. Very few people have a guest bedroom. So now you got a blow-up mattress, or you got to get your bed up, or somebody's on the sofa, right? So I thought, well, there's no place for them to stay near their loved ones, the person they're coming to visit. So those are going to be my people, the people who are coming to visit, the family and friends of folks who lived in the neighborhood. Now, I had 4 guest rooms and 2 bathrooms on the floor where the guests would stay. In the States, people don't want to share a bathroom with a stranger. We're just not doing that, right? It's a European concept that works, but it doesn't work here. So again, you have to know your market. So now who would mind sharing the bathrooms? People who actually know each other. So now who's coming from out of town and would know each other? People who are coming to a wedding. And people who are coming to a funeral, family people. Too many of them to stay at the house down the street. Okay, those are my people. So where do I find those people? Okay, go to all the churches. Meet the big mouth in the church. And invite her over for tea. Show her, let her go back and she'll be your ambassador at the church. She'll tell everybody. You know that place around the corner? What, child? Name a room after her if you have to. She would go and get those people. And so most of my guests were people who were coming for funerals, and we went to the funeral homes. We offered a special discount package for the funeral home. We like the funeral home business because the funerals are typically during the week, Monday through Friday. Y'all typically want to come on the weekend when you don't have to work. You don't have a choice if it's a funeral. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because it costs more to have the funeral on the Saturday. So we made friends with all the funeral homeowners, and said, send your people, we'll do this package, you can offer this as a package, and they can even have a little repast here because you can't have food in a funeral home. So you got to figure all those angles. So those were our guests. What quickly happened, it wasn't the family and friends who were coming, or the people who lived in the neighborhood. It was the people who lived down the street and around the corner. Staycation before the word was even arranged, even heard of. Because now, people living in a high-pressure world like we do, high-tech world, need high touch. So it was mostly people who were celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, but it was tricky because we still had our day jobs. So we had to go to work. So when people would call to make a reservation, we would have to pre-qualify the caller. Okay, that's already knowing who your customer is. What do they want? What do they need? So if they tell us that they're coming for their anniversary on Wednesday night, we would say, oh my goodness, we're so sorry, we are fully booked. And meanwhile, there's nobody there. Not even us. So we can't take that guest because we can't meet their expectation. Because we like we run the bubble bath, we like the candles, the rose petals. We can't do that on Wednesday. I'm not getting home until 7, right? We can't even make you breakfast because I got an early morning meeting. It was just us, my husband and I, doing it. And so when they said, oh yes, it's our anniversary, we want to come Saturday night, we're like, great, absolutely we have availability. By saying that we didn't have the other availability, by saying it that way, people want what they can't have, right? So they were like, oh my God, you can't even get in there. That place is always booked. They wanted even more, And so that's kind of how we dealt with the early guests. And then we just chose those other places, and clearly about half of our guests have stayed at one of the other ends. So now we don't have to cultivate a whole new client. We made them a believer in Cape May, now they're coming to DC. They didn't even know where this Bethany, PA is in the Pope. They didn't even know where that is. They never heard of it, but they heard of us. So we're branding the concept, making sure they have a great first experience, and then they become a repeat guest at the other location. We even have a special package called, Sleep Around with us. So you stay in 3 locations, you get to stay at the 4th location. In a 12-month period of time, you can stay at the 4th location for free. And people are like, well, the time's running out. Book me in the DC place. We're trying to get to Pennsylvania. So it works.
Great. We have a question over here.
Hello, my name is Aiden, and I just want to say congratulations on your success, and especially your TV show on OWN. So I wish you really much success. But I'm curious, what was the thing that made you notice or really bring out your brand? In other words, making your brand more visual. What did you do? Did you talk with different people? And how did and how did the production company find you?
The production company, that's an easy one. When they get the list of what they need, they just start Googling. Don't do that, right? Just Google. Just Google everything. And so we show up. So that's how the production company found. In terms of the branding piece, I consider myself a very visual person, and you don't want to be a commodity. That's a hard business to be in. So the minute that you can say, you have to ask yourself, even as you're planning your business, what is going to be my, what is the right word, differential, what is that? Your unique selling point. Your unique selling point, your niche, your differential, whatever. You have to figure out what that is, because there's a lot of competition out there. There's lots of places where you can spend the night, right? And so for us, we thought we want to offer we talk about the fact that we're historic, that you can live like a New Yorker because you're actually in a community versus like, Times Square. That we offer personal touch because we're small enough that when you ring the doorbell, we know who you are before you walk in the door. Hey, Shelly, come on in. How was your trip? Oh my God, how's the weather in Florida when you left there? Who does that at the Hilton? They can't, right? So we know that's unique about us. And we find that the hotel industry, for example, is always trying to mimic who we are. And we have to remember who we are as small operators, right? Because they start offering breakfast. Okay, so if you want the bagel and all, fine. But so that means our breakfast has to be really on point because the hotels have breakfast, right? So you have to figure out how you stay one step ahead. And then finally, like the branding, Akwaaba, why Akwaaba? So even the thought of the name, and I remember Danielle asked me that. She was at the press launch for the television show, and she asked, why Akwaaba, where does that come from? Because she's from Ghana, and the word Akwaaba also comes from Ghana. It means welcome. So we wanted to choose a word that was relevant to what we do. And quite honestly, we wanted to choose a word, a name that starts with an A, because it makes us first on most lists. They're usually alphabetized. So Akwaaba it was.
We have our final question here.
I feel so lucky.
I wanted to say thank you, first of all, Mrs. Greenwood, for being here today. My name is Joanne Civil. I'm the founder of a collective called the Black Pearl Collective. It's for women of color to network at events such as this. My question to you is, Issa Rae made a great comment a couple of weeks ago on an interview where she says that a lot of people, when they're networking, they go through the processes of trying to network with people who are above them, like the Oprahs and such. But they never look at the women and men that are right next to them, who are talented like them, or who have access to the resources that they're looking for. What would you say to the women in this room today when it comes to networking, specifically towards your business or in general? What are some of the key things that women don't think of that were part of your success?
I never could identify a mentor, so I know that's a little different from networking, but a lot of people network to find a mentor. And so I don't have a mentor that I can identify by name. I have a lot of mentors in my head and a lot of people who have helped me and that inspired me, but I wouldn't call them a mentor because I'm not quite sure what that really means. But I would tell you that when I'm networking, it's the number one thing people say, I need you to be my mentor, will you be my mentor? And I'm standing going like, what does that mean? What do I know what my husband needs to do for me, right? I'm not quite sure what that means, the mentor thing. And I think people network because they're looking for the mentorship. But here's what I would say with networking. So you have to influence and impact every single person you meet because every single person you meet has something of value for you. Every single person you meet has something of value for you. The question is, you have to figure out what do you have of value for them. And I think that's a piece that people miss when networking. Because the value could simply be, I'm the person who's going to sit on the front row and smile at you so that you feel pumped up. That's great value. So what is it, you know? And so when people ask me to mentor or network, or, you know, I kind of go, what do they want from me? Do you ever, I don't know, do you ever think of that? When people, like, you know, you see somebody got a beeline across the room, you go, what do they want? Right? So, you know, I try to get right to that. What do you want? I don't say it like that, but I'm like, and I want to know, you know, what I can give you. So when people have asked me that, can I, you know, people have asked me, like, can we take you to, I'd love to take you to lunch or take you for coffee and pick your brain. The first thing I say is, I need my brain. Please don't pick it. But what I will say, and this is what I've started to do, especially if they want to be innkeepers, for example. I said, okay, that's cool. There's a book called So You Want to Be an Innkeeper. Read the book, and then when you're done, give me a call and let's set up a date. You know how many people don't call? Because they're not going to read the book? Really? But you're going to take up an hour of my time? Really? No. So I want to deal with people who are serious. My director of operations, Melody, who I referred to, this beautiful sister sitting over here, she said she was stalked. She was kind of a stalker, but I don't know. But she wanted to get into the end business. She comes out of the record industry. First thing she did was she made a reservation at the bed and breakfast where she knew I would be that weekend. That's how you do it, right? Then she's having a little conversation and, you know, telling me what her interests are. And I may have told her to read the book. I'm not sure if I asked you to, because I've been doing that a long time. It's, you know, it just weeds out the people who are serious. Because if you're serious, I'll be serious. I will be very serious. But not if you want to take up my time and you can't even read the book. The book costs $12. It's not my book. I don't get money from it. I just want to see if you're investing in you before you ask me to invest in you, right? So I think that's the piece for networking. People don't even know when they're what are we doing? Because I met you, now what, now what, now what, right? So if you don't have the elevator pitch, I know I'm saying all this like stuff, but it's real, the elevator pitch. But again, the elevator pitch, the key to the elevator pitch is, and here's what's in it for you. If you leave that part out, I met, where's Karen? Yeah, there's Karen. I met Karen today. She has the beautiful Indian hair, whatever, but you know what? I love my hair. This is my selling feature, because I don't have all this together, so I have to do this. I'm not gonna buy the hair from Karen, right? So what Karen has to do when she meets me is she's gotta figure out, like, what do I have that she might want, right? And that's your elevator pitch. You gotta modify it. And when you're networking, you only have a few minutes. So what is it? What is it? What do you want? Say what it is. Yeah.
Monique, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was fun. It was fun. My last commercial tonight on the OWN Network at 10 p.m. Checked in.